Is AI going to replace us as real estate agents and replace the real estate industry?
Talk a little bit about what AI is and what AI isn't in the realm of real estate. It would have to be a massive shift in trust.
I think it would take at least a generation. I think there would be
I
more
don't think
trust.
so. I think if it is to happen, it would happen in about 10 years.
And I've heard this from so many other people. It's like, I just want to get somebody on the phone because they'd be able to solve my problem. People still want to talk to people.
I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying that I really enjoy thinking about it. I think the lesson, if you're a real estate agent, you're looking at this, is you level up your game.
Welcome back to another episode of Moving Sucks, where Seth thinks that tall hair is weird.
Just call it like I see it.
I think that would make for a good blooper reel. Apparently, it looked like I went through a wind tunnel. I'd argue to say it may have looked like I stepped out of the 80s, but that's a result of some nice dry shampoo because, I get really primed and prepped and ready for these recordings.
Well, we try to keep it somewhat casual. I mean, we don't put a tie and dresses on and all that, but I don't think that would resonate with most people. We try to keep it real.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm showing my shoulders though. I don't know if somebody's going to come after me in the comments for being inappropriately dressed. Anyway, that's not what this is about. Today is about what I found to be a passion topic of Seth's, which I very quickly agreed to because I said things along these lines at least like 5 times last week, and even just on an onboarding call on Saturday, which is how we've got job security against AI. And
well, let's tee up the actual topic. I don't think we've actually told anybody what we're talking about.
All right. Well, what we're talking about, if you haven't read the title when you clicked on this, is AI. Well, whatever we decide to ultimately name this in a nice creative way, but is AI going to replace us as real estate agents and replace the real estate industry? No. Okay. Thanks for coming to another episode of Moving Sucks.
You love that quick wrap up.
Hey, what can I say? I like short and efficient.
No, you actually don't.
No, I don't. I love word salad.
You don't. You just lied now. Right? That was a big lie because you don't like anything short and efficient, except for
I like efficient. It's just the
wordy
way to the wordiest way to say efficient thing.
Word salady.
Yeah.
No, so this is something that I think has become an even more. I think every month that passes by, I think it is a more interesting question to ask. I think that we can talk a little bit about what AI is and what AI isn't in the realm of real estate. I think real estate agents have a little bit of a hurdle because for some reason we're like the bottom of the trusted, professions, which kind of sucks because being in real estate and knowing a lot of most agents are pretty well-meaning and competent and they know what they're doing,
So your cousin or your ex-coworker who just decided to go get their real estate license to just try real estate, which is my least favorite line. If you're ever going to ask me, do you think I could do real estate? I just want to try real estate. If you say I want to try real estate, I'm going to be very honest with you and say, I don't think you should. That's probably not the people that we're talking about, but people who are in this full time, who are dedicated and committed to it. Yeah, I get very good relationships with a lot of these agents. Yeah, and moreover, have good experiences.
Well, okay, so let's talk about what AI is right now and what AI is not.
It's ChatGPT, which is what everybody sees AI as.
So there are every business, and especially in real estate, you have really 2 sides to the business. You have the doing of the business, and then you have the finding of the business, which is really a fancy way of saying the actual practitioner part and then the marketing. The marketing part, AI is having an absolute field day. There are tons of tools you can.
I'm having an absolute field day.
Yeah, I mean, you can create avatars, you can create voiceovers. One of our mentors, Dustin Brome, he just interviewed a guy who's putting out 41 reels a month on just AI. There is an enormous leverage point for AI for a real estate agent that can replace a real estate agent's marketing activities. The real question, though, because the marketplace does not compensate based on the ability for people to market. Like that's not part. They want to know that you can do the job and actually supply the service to get someone to accomplish their real estate, to allow someone to accomplish their real estate goals. That's really what people are being paid for. Sure, better marketing means you might pay that person a little bit more prestige. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. All right. More prestige, whatever. In the end, we want to make that distinction. The real threat. So basically, given that duality, the real threat is like, will AI actually replace the practitioner part, the part where we actually do the work?
Now, I would say, do we get even more specific and say, is it going to replace buyer's agents or listing agents? Because I think that there are more people who would believe that AI could replace a listing agent. And more people would say, well, I can just list my house using AI or using technology, and I could do this myself. Come closer, everybody. No, you can't. You could, maybe you could. But like oh my gosh, for example, somebody just put up on one of these Facebook groups that it's a for sale by owner house. It is so unique and beautiful, like an awesome house, and they're selling it by owner. And I'll comment these things often, but I did say, I was like, I'm going to tell you right now, if you listed that on the open market with a good agent, you would not only make your money back in the commissions, but would make more on it than what you are doing right now. That's a beautiful home. And this has so much opportunity to be marketed and like sold at such a high price point to adequately find the right buyer who is willing to do what it takes to get it. And I'm like, what a missed opportunity for this guy. Like that wasn't even like me trying to like go out there and snag business and be one of these 8 million agents that are commenting on a post to try to get it. I was just like, man, you are leaving so much money on the table by trying to do this yourself.
Yeah.
Like, and I wish that's something I could drill into people. It's like, yeah, okay, you can use AI, but here's another example. So we work with a lender who has this process or more this offering for to purchase a home for you to be effective cash. And I guess you could say AI or the automatic systems behind it are so conservative. And they don't really take into consideration real actual market happenings that very, very, very directly and in real time impact and affect what's going on and offer.
Yeah, I think the one we can talk about for a little bit is pricing of homes. Now, there's a few ways to go with this.
I mean, Zillow's got that under control.
Well, this estimate can actually be somewhat accurate, but a lot of times it's not, and that's to the downside and to the upside. Like sometimes it undervalues, sometimes it overvalues. Zillow lost $390 million trying to buy things over the internet.
Remember when that happened?
There was
AI
that
was so satisfying to me.
It was satisfying. Yeah. But you got Purple Bricks, Open Door. There's a bunch of these tech companies that tried to automate this and tried to get this where they could anticipate what the market would bear, because a house is always worth two things: what it is on paper and then what the market will actually pay for it. The bet that these tech companies have is that AI will fill that gap. It'll actually remedy the mistakes they made in the past. The entire problem with AI taking over any industry, really, but just real estate in general, is the idea that it's really fun to talk about, and it's really fun for Silicon Valley people to talk about and sit on stages in their flip-flops and talk about how innovative they are and everything like that. Nothing will change until the consumer trusts it. And that is the same for any piece of technology. And I think I've told you this before.
That goes the same for anything and any want. Technology,
Anything and anyone, but
people.
the adoption of technology is directly related to people's willingness to trust it. And whether that's safety, like you're not going to die if you undersell a house, but whether it's financial, it's like survival. Um, People, like millions and millions and millions of people get into airplanes every day. It is by far the safest way to travel. It's amazing. You put 250 to 325 people 30,000 feet in the air going 700 miles an hour, and it is the safest way to convey bodies across this planet.
That's crazy.
By far. It's not even close. The next safest thing is trains. You are more at risk of getting killed walking down the street by a random car than you would die in a plane accident. And if you went back 75, 80 years and you told them, yeah, there's like 195,000 flights that take off from the surface of this planet every day, conveying millions and millions of people across continents, people would think you're nuts. They'd be like, I'd never do that. That's crazy. So I use that as an example of the trust in the technology is the only way. The adoption of the technology is one thing. The trusting and used in mass that would disrupt an industry like this, it would have to be a massive shift in trust.
I think it would take at least a generation. I think there would be
I
more
don't think
trust.
so. I think if it is to happen, it would happen, and it would happen in about 10 years. I think it would. And there can be collateral trust, meaning they trust it for other things, and that speeds it up. And then like, hey, honey, why don't we just try like selling the house with AI? I still think it's too big. I still think it's too big of a thing. They still want somebody. They want expertise. They want people to walk through the door and tell them that the house is worth this. They want to have someone they can call that they know is not a bot. They want somebody they know has experience.
Honestly, this argument can just be made even literally just by saying people still want people on the phones. Because how many times like do you hear anybody say like, I just want to talk to somebody? How many times have we said, I just want to get on the phone with somebody at Google?
Yeah.
Like I've been having problems with getting my business page corrected I gave up on it at this point which sucks, but like, I'm like, and I've heard this from so many other people. It's like, I just want to get somebody on the phone because they'd be able to solve my problem. Yeah. And like an argument can just be made and done right there. People still want to talk to people.
Well, I think that people want to talk to people, but they also want to lend on the experience. They want to lean on the experience and the expertise.
And I think AI is still a little too new to even have that experience. And I mean, it quickly learns and it's quickly growing. But again, at the same time, like if you're thinking of how an AI is getting fed information, it's still going to take more kind of like statistics and data. And how often do we say that real estate is so hyper specific and so individualized? And like, if you go off like days on market, you push back on me all the time. You're like, it doesn't say shit. And I'm like, yeah, it does. And you're like, no, it doesn't, because there can be like a house that has sat for like 105 days where everything else is selling for like between like 5 to 10 days. And it's going to say average days on market, it's like 30 something. Yeah. Because something gets
skewed. It skews the data, and then you got foreclosures and all kinds of long.
Meanwhile, you have human beings here who are actually in it, doing it, and can actually speak to what's happening and be able to give real-time advice. Because
I think honestly, I think also just on the buyer side, like unless we've got like bots lurching through property, I think that there's in some world they think that you can just scan, you can use an app and scan and they'll tell you what everything is. And I don't believe that. Even if that shit works, I don't believe that the consumer would trust it. I don't think young homeowners would trust an AI app to properly ascertain the condition of a property before they were to place a contract. I just don't. I think that people still want expertise, but that's really what AI is. And I've talked to everyone on the team about this, is that the entire premise of our society and expertise is that there's been scarcity of it. Meaning, if you don't have a law degree and you get into legal trouble, you have to go to somebody to get it. The idea of AI and just tech in general and the internet kind of started that. In fact, books started it. You used to have sages in the churches writing out things, the dissemination of information, the printing press. It unlocked a new level, or it used to be where just the kings and queens had all the information about the world, and the entire population was kept in the dark. We have since moved into progressions where it's like the internet now. It's like everyone thought with LegalZoom, like lawyers were going to be out of business. They're not, because people, when they have complex things that they need to take care of, they don't look at an internet website to do it. The bet, though, is that AI, because it's intelligent, will close that gap considerably, where there will just be the cream of the crop people in every industry. Like, honestly, and I'm sorry if you're listening to this and you're a financial planner, really, really worried about your long-term arc in 10 to 15 years. I really am. I don't know, unless you were doing some high level analytics, which frankly AI is already doing at a much quicker and more predictable level. Those types of jobs, you're only going to have the very, very top echelon of specialized people in that.
So what Seth is saying is AI isn't coming for real estate agents. They're coming for you financial planners.
They are also coming for hack-ass real estate agents still. I think there will be some market penetration there where AI will be used to, replace some agents. But
if it's but I'm also trying to think of reasons why somebody would want to use AI over a person. And the only thing, that's what I was going to say. I was getting there.
It's the same thing.
Right. And to which I say, I don't think it's going to save on costs, because I think that it's more the sellers that will think that than buyers. I think buyers, they have a fear of going into this alone as it is. And I think that that's enough to be able to, I don't say like that's enough to keep us in business. Like it's enough that it should keep us in business, because they should be guided into these homes. And I do think it comes down to cost, and more so to sellers. And I just can't drive this home enough that if you think that using AI is going to save you on commissions in place of using a listing agent, I think you're sorely mistaken.
Yeah.
And I will always say that. And I think what all this comes down to too is that, we also say that real estate's a contact sport. And, there's a lot of times people, like agents, want to work with competent agents. So let's just even take out the part of, cost, whatever. With AI, I mean, let's say there is a listing agent and your buyer's agent, you're using AI or you're doing it yourself or relying on that. A listing agent doesn't want to work with somebody who doesn't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And, how many times have I won bidding wars just by putting in a witty little something in an agreement of sale? And that's not something AI is going to do. And, there's just so many, just involvements in this job that people don't consider.
Yeah.
That require human interaction.
I think that the buyer's agent role is going to save most realtors. I do. I think a listing AI app, if someone's really crunched for cash, like imagine all the people in like the Sun Belt right now who, they might be underwater, or they bought at the wrong time, they don't have any money to pay, they might try their hand at it. Who the hell knows? In our market, it's about running up the score, right? It's about, it's like a good agent doesn't just sell for what it's worth, tries to sell for more.
Well, and also there's, it's not really AI necessarily, but it's that like the limited listing service. It's kind of like a middle ground between like full AI and a full listing agent. And it's essentially for sale by owner, but just getting it out there more for a flat fee. But it's like, you're still responsible for having to read the agreement of sale and know what you're looking at, and know, like, it's not common knowledge. There's a reason why we go to real estate school and we have a real estate license and we do specialize in this job, that We know how to read the contracts. We know what red flags to look out for. We know what negotiation tools to use and, what could make or break an offer and what makes one stand out over another. And it's all those other things that it's like even limited listing services and AI won't necessarily do. Or if they do, it's not going to be to such a degree that they have a duty to you. It's not like AI is going to say, like, I have a fiduciary service to you and to work on your behalf and to fight for you. It just produces a performance.
They could establish a fiduciary relationship with the company. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying that I really enjoy thinking about it. I think the lesson, if you're a real estate agent, you're looking at this, is you need to level up your game.
Yeah.
You need to become great. And we do that all the time, but there's a lot of agents just kind of riding shit out. Still competent, still okay. But, in the end, those AI will replace in a lot of service and like medium to low level accountants and financial planners and lawyers. Like a paralegal, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like if you're if you're just like a person who's reading docs, and there's been stories about how some of these like court cases that have been brought into the court, they've been cited and they've been completely wrong. But I don't know, man, between the last 24 months or 18 months of AI, and I'm thinking after 10 years of it just compounding, I think there's going to be some expertise coming out of these platforms. But I still just think that the real estate transaction is too big. It is just too big. It's too high stakes. And the adoption of it is going to be very, very, I think it's going to be much slower than in other like services industries. I think, a TurboTax type, like an accountant type stuff, because accounting's expensive. Like hiring an accountant's expensive, is an expense. I think that'll be, because it's more straightforward, right? It's about analyzing the code. It'll probably be conservative in terms of deductions, but I'm sure it'll give you like a manual ability to do the deductions that you truly want to do if you feel that.
Yeah, I find every single dollar that I pay my accountant worth it.
Yeah. So, but I think it's an interesting question. I think the buyer's agent role is going to save a lot of people from shedding the real estate, like the realtor. They don't know how to do it. They don't want to trust technology to do it. And I think I told the team this the other day, and this is one of the most interesting historical facts that I bring out often, and it's about trusting technology. But when they had the locomotive, when they created the locomotive train, generally it was designed to move, slowly move coal, and like the Industrial Revolution, right? It was meant to remove materials, but then they're like, hey, Bob, let's get some people on this thing and move them across the country or move them to here or there. And in the very beginning,
a crazy idea.
Yeah, when they first started the passenger train, they couldn't get anyone to get on it. And the reason is because people didn't believe the human body could travel more than 10 miles an hour. At that time, there had never been anything created that would convey a body that fast. And so, they didn't trust the technology. They didn't trust the technology. And it was the same thing with cars. It was hard to get people to adopt cars. They were, obviously with like the horse and stable, but the internet, people didn't want to get on the internet. Now, like everyone's on the internet all the time.
Ugh, I hate it.
Yeah.
Wish I wasn't,
and so I think there will be some adoption in real estate, but I think for now, you and I can continue to do our business and use AI as a tool.
I was going to say, I think that the role that AI does play a role in real estate, and I am grateful for it. And I think that the role that it plays is going to actually benefit the real estate market. I think it's going to benefit the customer experience. I think it's going to free us up to be able to do more with our jobs. And so far, I love what AI can do. I am great at writing, and I am great at writing listing descriptions. But guess what? So is ChatGPT. Yeah. And I still edit it. I still have my human touch on it. There's still things I like definitely want to have in there. And, I definitely still personalize it. However, it is for sure a time saver. It's saving me like an hour and a half out of my day. And I think that's great. It is making it a lot easier to make summaries of our phone calls with clients, so that I don't forget anything and that I don't miss anything that is really important to the client or any important details. So, because you as a client gets a lot of information during this process, but so do we from you about the process, and I don't want to miss any of it. And AI does a great job at logging all of those things. So AI plays a really great role, but as an enhancer and not a takeover.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
But it's not a replacement.
No, it's there to make our lives easier, but it's not going to take over my career. And I feel job security in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day you wake up unemployed though. Gotta go get that business.
Every day I wake up unemployed. Government doesn't think so, but
yeah,
that's okay.
But yeah, I think we can leave it at that. But in the end, I think AI will always I think for now it will be a tool to make your experience better, the consumer's experience better, create more insights, and actually leverage the agent out of the minutia and allow them to do what they're truly great at, which is connecting with people and getting contracts and showing homes and solving people's problems. So,
but I am really curious to know what other people think. These are just two opinions, but I mean, this is something like I want to create conversation around. Like, if whoever's like watching this, listening to this, like, bomb the bad choice of words right now. Blow up the comments. Another bad choice of words.
That's a bad choice of words again.
I'm on a roll today. Talk about it. I want to know. I want to know what people think AI is going to do. And if you as a consumer, would you trust it? Would you use it? Do you disagree with everything we're saying? Should we not have such a sense of job security?
Yeah.
Because I do. I'm really curious because AI can go in a lot of directions and has the potential to do a lot of things. I'm curious to know what other people have thought about it as it pertains to buying homes, or really, I mean, I guess anything, but specifically buying homes is kind of what this is.
Well, by the way, don't comment if you've never bought or sold a home. Like, I don't need crypto bros coming in. Actually, you know what?
Bros, and we're just going to tell you, hey, did you ever sell a home before?
Come ask crypto bros. Your 24-year-old selves. Come on in.
But Dave Ramsey said,
yeah.
Sorry,
Dave. Good Lord.
All right. But that being said,
we'll talk about him later.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you.
Bye.